We'll be on the gusty side, and then by Friday, hopefully, things will improve.
The National Weather Service radar out of Miami, and here we can see the rain that is being produced by Isidore, and as you can see, there's an awful lot of it. Widely scattered showers and high winds and some heavily embedded areas of rain spreading across parts of Dade, Broward, and Monroe counties, and as we can see, actually, this extends all the way from just below Vero Beach, clear down to northern part of the Keys there. Looks like Key Largo and also a little band not too far from Key West, but whether you see this flashing right here, that's where the heaviest embedded thunderstorm activity and the heaviest rain activity is going on, and it extends, well, roughly from Miami here all the way out to Andros Island, and there's some very heavy activity going on inside of that. And it's kind of interesting, too, as we look at the rain band here, you can just see the swirling activity of this. In fact, we can almost pinpoint exactly where the center of this storm is, right about here. Again, it's 100 miles east-southeast of Miami, and as I mentioned just a moment ago, it is moving just north of due west currently, and for you weather buffs out there, I did want to mention the central pressure is 29.65 inches currently. We'll take a look now above things here. The satellite photograph taken a while ago, and we can again see the swirling counterclockwise cyclonic motion of all of those clouds. As for a regular satellite photograph.
Tropical storm Isidore was located 40 miles east of Fort Lauderdale, moving west-northwest at 10 miles per hour. Maximum winds near the center are 50 miles per hour. Heavy rains and some flooding are expected as the storm crosses the coast. Stay tuned to News 4 for further
right along the West Palm Beach line right through this region. Excuse me, I'm a little too high. Actually, it's this line. The Broward County line and the Palm Beach line is just about the center of the storm, moving to the northwest. Now, you'll notice that some very heavy thunderstorms have broken out right along County Line Road, the Dade County and Broward County line. And then, of course, the banding of the storm moving up to the east, very, very flat in the east and up into the north. This is where the heaviest weather will come from, but some heavy thunderstorms are moving across Grand Bahama.
This is Isidore. He is between Vero Beach, Florida, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at Boynton Beach, and the peak winds are 50 to 60 miles an hour. Isidore is moving north-northwest at 10 miles an hour. No further intensification is counted on, but we're going to monitor Isidore very closely. 3 to 5 inches of rain likely along the Floridian coast, and again, the top winds are 50 to...
Spiral squall line, which we can show you. Look at these, stretching all around east of the lake out toward the end of the Grand Bahama Island. Very heavy rains, heavier than I've seen there in the past 3 hours. It's still being generated, but it's all north of us, and that's good news for us, but not good news for the folks to the north. Daytona Beach had to issue a special warning for beach erosion, which could be quite severe because of this present course of the storm. Let's take a look at that and bring us up to date on the latest. Here's a picture taken less than an hour ago of this entire sprawling mess. It no longer is a circular system which looks like what you're used to seeing as a tropical storm. It's now sprawling with other activity all the way out. Let's go a bit closer in and get real close to it. As you can see, it's a messy looking thing with this peculiar, almost jaws open center looking toward the state of Florida. And to give you the latest information as to
tonight, a lot of the heavy weather was down south of the system, and it went all the way around the center. You can see here's the center right here. It's moving into the coast. At 5 o'clock this morning, it was just off of Fort Lauderdale, about 40 miles. At 6 o'clock, it was right near the coastline. 7 o'clock, it was over the coast. Some of this area, heavy showers north of the center. At 9 o'clock, it was well, and then right here just west of Palm Beach. At 10 o'clock, it started to move northwestward, just inside the coastline. 11 o'clock, the last we had, it was located just northwest of Palm Beach, moving northwestward. Here's the advisory
of Tropical Storm Isidore. And if you recall, the storm was approaching us last night at this time from the southeast, and it passed over Fort Lauderdale about 9 o'clock in the morning. It then proceeded to the north and is over Orlando, just south of Orlando, east of Tampa at 9 tonight. The projected path would take it out over the Gulf of Mexico and then it turned to the north. I think it's going to hook up with a trough of low pressure up here and then probably hook up back off to the northeast. I want to emphasize that this projected path is simply my personal opinion and does not reflect the opinion of the National Weather Service and the Hurricane Center. No, really, I got to say that because they haven't said anything about which way the storm's going to go. I think that's what it's going to do. And I'll sit back and watch and see the whole thing circulating around counterclockwise. It takes a turn to the north. By late this evening, all of a sudden, boom, it takes off to the west. See, there it goes. And the center of the storm now, right about there, just east of Tampa. Again, we're going to show you the numbers we showed you at the top of the show. at 10:30 tonight.
Right now, Tropical Storm Isidore is still alive and well, and one of the amazing things about the storm is the fact that it has crossed a pretty good chunk of real estate here across the central part of Florida and still has not died down any. It's still going just as strong as ever before. Right now, the center of the storm is roughly between Orlando and Tampa, and this is really a good shot here. This is the latest from the National Weather Service radar out of Tampa, and you can just see the swirling band of clouds right here, extending all the way from just below Fort Myers around the Naples area, all the way up to Vero Beach, back on shore, Daytona Beach, and then again just kind of wrapping themselves around the Tampa Bay area. And quite a storm here. The winds are about 50 miles an hour, gusting higher in some squalls, and the higher gusts are generally to the east of the center of the storm itself. And the gale warnings continue this evening across just about the entire Florida coastline. We're going to go upstairs a little bit here and take a look at the satellite photograph. And this is one taken just a very short while ago. And here again, we can see the swirling cloud pattern in association with that tropical storm. Now, the interesting speculation here...
Josephine's moving north at 5 miles an hour. Her peak winds are 90. Now, if she goes straight north, she's going to miss everybody. We'll get some clouds out of it, some breezes out of it, but I don't think Josephine's going to do a number on the northeast. It doesn't look that way.
You're getting a lot of cloudiness all the way north to Massachusetts, down into lower New England, across lower New York State, and into the mid-Atlantic region. Not much turning course would result in a pretty wet Saturday and Sunday. So, of course, they're monitoring it very carefully. That little area of disturbed pressure has not evolved in the last 24 hours, located below satellite range. Unfortunately, and you can see.
Let's just take a quick look at the satellite shot, and you'll see what's developing. Here is Tropical Storm Bob.
Well, the situation is that we're experiencing the worst part of the storm right now along the southeast Florida coast. This is it. People are waiting for the center to arrive, as the reports that you just indicated from Fort Myers. See, as the center approaches the coastline, then the conditions are going to improve, and that's indeed what's happened over at Fort Myers. The center is on the coast near Fort Myers at the present time. The main area of concern is the squalliness ahead of the center, and that's what we're in here in southeast Florida right now.
Dr. Frank, let me ask you the $64,000 question. What is the probability or possibility of the storm retaining enough strength as it moves in this east-northeasterly direction to move right across the coast and out into the Atlantic Ocean and then develop further?
Well, this is exactly what we're concerned about. We think the storm system will move across Florida today. It's moving to the east-northeast about 5 miles an hour. It should cross the peninsula during the afternoon and the early evening hours and then be back out over the warm waters of the Gulf Stream sometime tomorrow, and we're going to have to monitor it very closely to see if there's any evidence of strengthening.
Okay, well, Dr. Frank, we appreciate that. Now, we can look for continued rainfall for the rest of the day, can we not?
Oh, yeah, all through the afternoon here in the southeast Florida coast, we're going to continue to have the squalls and the heavy rain. So when one of these squalls comes along, the wind's going to pick up, maybe gusting to 40, 50, in some cases 60 miles an hour. And on the west coast now, they're beginning to see significant improvement.
Okay, then we've felt the worst of it pretty much, right?
This gorgeous day, and a special hello to Mononk and Rushonk Shaw.
Where is the most severe part of the storm right now?
Well, the center of the storm, of course, is over the central part of the Florida Peninsula, near Lake Okeechobee, moving towards the east-northeast, maybe 10 miles an hour. We expect the center and most of the system to emerge back out over the water sometime tonight or maybe early tomorrow morning.
And Dr. Frank, what is the prognosis for Bob in the next couple of hours?
Well, in the next couple of hours, we're not going to see much change in what we're seeing right now. Within the last couple of hours, we've had some heavy squalls move off the shore between Fort Myers and Palm Beach. And we had some wind gusts 40, 50 miles an hour with these heavier squalls. As the time progresses into the evening, we're getting fewer and fewer squalls, and so the main part of the storm has already affected the land masses.
All right, Dr. Frank, thank you very much.
Hurricane specialists are
through the day today. You can see this little indentation here. That's the center of the storm pushing to the east, and now you can see the curvature around that storm. So there's the circulation right there, and now notice the bright white area has diminished significantly in size. So that's good news, because those are the heavy thunderstorms, and that is still just over us. And as the storm moves off to the east and tracks up to the northeast, as it is forecast to do, then this area will go on with it, and we should be out of this by tonight. But bear in mind, these things are terribly unpredictable, and you need to stay tuned to us, and we'll keep you up to date. All right, let's look at the national...
Down, one of those thunderstorms in that line spawned this tornado.
Of course, we always talk about the latitude and longitude of storms. In this case, it probably wasn't near as important as where the actual weather was it?
No question about that. In a tropical storm, the strong winds are not concentrated in general around the center, so the center is not very significant. And all of that weather that we've experienced today and last night was associated with Tropical Storm Bob. So we experienced Tropical Storm Bob.
Well, what's going to happen next with Tropical Storm Bob? Of course, this is our blacked out area because we have so many tall buildings downtown. All we would get back would